Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now it is happening. Bitcoin is starting to break out above this crucial level on the price chart, as we're now seeing history repeat in the short term while the price of Bitcoin plays out this bullish divergence again. So in just a moment, I'll be talking about my exact Bitcoin trading strategy, showing and sharing with you exactly how I'm planning to make a lot of quick and easy profits in the crypto market from the next Bitcoin move, which is just now starting. But while this is happening, the Bitcoin dominance is continuing this bullish relief, which is not great for the altcoin market, while we're seeing Ethereum now test a crucial area of resistance in the short term, alongside Solana now still playing out this bullish divergence. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, technically speaking, we still have this bearish divergence to watch out for, which is technically still valid. It only reconfirmed about a week ago. And so despite what happens on slightly smaller timeframes in the short term, if we're talking about what we should be expecting over the next few weeks or over the next 1 month or so, we could still be in for either a larger sideways consolidation ranging between roughly 100k to 125k in that massive range right there, or potentially still a bit more of a pullback, which I'll talk about in just a moment if that might or might not be the case. But overall, once again, the bearish divergence still technically active on the weekly time frame, but still also within a bull market, just taking a bit of a break from the bull market, at least for now. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, we can see that right now the price of Bitcoin is obviously bouncing in the short term, starting to finally deviate a little bit from this fractal that has been playing out over the last few weeks or so. Because as we could see here on the daily Bitcoin price chart, we have very similar price action right now to what we saw near the end of 2024 entering into early this year. But once again, we're now potentially starting to deviate, or in other words, invalidate this ultimately repeating history, because of the fact that we're now starting to break out, not yet confirmed, but starting to break out above this crucial level on the price chart here, sitting at approximately 110k. And obviously, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin has technically broken out above 110k. We're currently sitting at, give or take, 111k, but we've not yet actually confirmed a daily candle close above 110k, at least not as of right now. But we can see what happened last time around February, late February this year, and then also early March this year. We obviously broke below this line of support, just like what we did close to a week ago, a few days ago. But then we saw a retest last time, testing the previous line of support to flip it into new resistance. And last time we saw a rejection from that level, which ultimately confirmed more bearish price action still to come over the next few weeks, over the following weeks after that rejection. But obviously, what did not happen last time was a breakout back above that previous line of support, which is why potentially we're starting to invalidate this massive fractal, starting to ultimately deviate from what happened last time, telling us that potentially we could finally start to see a little bit more of a short-term bullish recovery in the price of Bitcoin. But once again, do remember that on the weekly time frame, we still technically have this bearish divergence, which means even though, yes, in the short term, we might see a bit more of a bullish recovery like this, we could still remain within this much larger sideways price range, as you can see. And so as always, understand the difference between the different time frames. Of course, the short term, the smaller time frames flip between bullish and bearish much more often, but these much larger time frames like the weekly time frame here take weeks, if not many months, to actually start flipping or reversing. But if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin price chart, obviously right now the price of Bitcoin is still perfectly playing out this short-term bullish divergence that I've been talking about pretty much every day over the last half a week, since all the way back down here. Every day since then, I've been saying expect either some choppy sideways price action or a bullish relief in the short term as the most common outcomes, the most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence. And obviously that's what we saw last time. In fact, we're seeing very similar price action, a very, very similar outcome from this bullish divergence to what we saw at the last bullish divergence around the end of September. Because like I talked about in my last video, obviously the first few days following the previous bullish divergence here, just like the first few days following this latest bullish divergence, we actually saw relatively neutral price action, relatively sideways price action, nothing too special in the first couple of days. But then a couple of days after the bullish divergence started playing out, started to confirm, we then started to see a decent bullish recovery, a decent bullish move in the short term for the price of Bitcoin. That's what happened last time, and it's what is happening again right now. And so obviously, if history history is any indication, if we ultimately confirm this breakout now with a daily candle close back above 110k, then it's quite likely we could continue a bit more of a short-term bullish relief in the coming days. And as for potential points of resistance to watch out for, we're potentially testing a bit of resistance around here in the short term, in between around 111.7k to 112k, and above that we could find a small amount of resistance at around 113,500. But the next major point of resistance to watch out for, at least in the short term, is sitting at pretty much exactly 116,000. And so with all of this in mind, considering we're now likely going to see a continued bullish relief, especially if we actually confirm this breakout with a daily candle close above 110k over the next one day with this next daily candle close, if this ultimately happens, obviously my trading strategy is to remain in the same trading strategy that I've been talking about every day over the last half a week or so. Because as I've been saying over the last few days, obviously if we see any sort of bounce in the price of Bitcoin, whether it's right now or from a lower point in the price chart, either way, for as long as we see some sort of bounce and we don't just see a straight line towards the downside, then this trading strategy that I've been sharing over the last few days will make a bunch of very easy profits in crypto. And already just over the last couple of days or so, it's about 14 to 1500 USD in profits, and it's very passive profits. I've just set this up once and it's automatically taking trades for me. As you can see right here, it automatically places buy orders and sell orders because it's essentially a trading bot. And if you want to know more about how this strategy actually works, watch my last few videos here on the channel because I've explained it in more detail in my last few videos. But for the subscribers out there that have been watching the last few videos, I won't repeat it in this video. But the good news, in case you're new to all of this, is that you can easily copy my trading strategy with the single click of a button. Just by simply clicking the second link below the video, it'll take you to this copy page right here, where you can simply click this copy button right here to copy my current trading strategy, which I'm currently using and has been working over the last 3 days. I've been using it over the last 3 days and clearly making easy profits right now. And for as long as we continue a bit more of a bounce here, it will ultimately very likely continue to make easy profits moving forward. And so once again, it'll be the second link below the video taking you to this page right here where you can copy this trading bot. But unfortunately, if you don't use the links below the video to actually make your Pinex account, you cannot copy this trading strategy. The copy button simply will not work. And so in order to copy this trading strategy of mine completely for free, you simply just have to make a Pinex account using one of the links below the video to actually make your account in order to copy this trading bot. And in case you're wondering, the first link below the video will take you to this sign up page right here, where you can also get a bunch of free money, free bonuses from the exchange just by making your account using the link below the video. So for example, if you make your account complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus just by doing that. And in case you're wondering, you can also use Pinex without KYC. You just won't get that 50 USDT bonus if you don't do the KYC. And on top of that, there's also deposit bonuses. If you deposit just $100, you get a $100 bonus. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus into your Pinex account. Basically free money from the exchange, which you can ultimately use to actually open these trading bots right here to ultimately copy my trading strategy from free money from the exchange just by making a deposit using the link below the video. But unfortunately, once again, if you don't use the link, you can't claim any of these bonuses here. So you might as well just make a Pinex account. It takes about 60 seconds to do this using the link below the video, claim these bonuses and copy my trading strategy if you want to, which is already making easy profits right now. And so those are my expectations for the price of Bitcoin in the shorter term and what to watch out for in the coming mid to longer term. And of course, my exact trading strategy showing with you exactly how I'm planning to make easy money in the crypto market. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, currently the price of Bitcoin is obviously on its way towards these major points of liquidity here. First of all, we have a small amount of liquidity only just above the price at around 112.3k. So it's possible that soon the price will hit that level to wipe out those positions. And then the next major level of liquidity to watch out for is at around 116.3k. So once again, around this high right here, we'll likely find some resistance at give or take 116,000, but that is where the next major level of liquidity is sitting at, which could likely draw the price closer towards that area in the coming days. And if you don't want to take this opportunity using my grid bot trading strategy, if you simply just want to long or short Bitcoin, then personally for those sort of trades, I like to use 2bits. I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bits below the video. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, where you can also claim a bunch of free money from the exchange just by depositing and trading crypto. crypto. So for example, you can claim up to 10,000 USDT in trial fund bonuses and 8,000 USDT in withdrawable stablecoins. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, you can get a free 30 USDT trial fund bonus and 1 month free VIP3 upgrade simply just by making an account using that third link below the video to 2bit. So basically free money from the exchange and very cheap trading fees just by making an account using that link. And on top of that, in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and right now, technically speaking, we're still playing out the bullish divergence on this Bitcoin dominance chart, which means continue to expect just a slight bullish relief as a very likely outcome moving forward. And obviously, I've been saying that pretty much every day over the last 1 month or so. And so obviously, while this is happening, it means a lot of the altcoin market on average, not every altcoin, but a lot of the major altcoins will likely be at least slightly underperforming Bitcoin. So doing a little bit worse than whatever Bitcoin is doing. But if Bitcoin is playing out a bullish move in the short term, a lot of altcoins can also play out a bullish move, but maybe just not as much bullish price action as what Bitcoin is doing, for example. But in the coming days or weeks, if the Bitcoin dominance continues this bullish relief in the short term and heads up towards this area of resistance in between 60.5% to 61% in the Bitcoin dominance, if we ultimately hit that area of resistance again in the coming days or weeks, it's likely that Bitcoin dominance could start to struggle or possibly reject from that area. So obviously, if we ultimately play out another rejection like that, while that rejection would be happening, of course, we could see a lot of altcoins outperform Bitcoin in that situation. But for now, still expect a bit more of a bullish relief as a very likely outcome in the Bitcoin dominance. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, right now the price of ETH is still holding on to this very important area of support, sitting in between around 3.9k to 4.1k. So not a lot has changed over the last 1 day on this chart. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, we still have a bullish divergence to watch out for, technically still active, which means continue to expect either a short-term bullish relief or maybe just some choppy sideways price action as very likely outcomes, very common outcomes from a bullish divergence. And zooming further into the short term, we can see that right now the price of ETH, as of recording this video, is currently testing and running into this important area of resistance here based on previous support flipping into new resistance. And that's sitting in between roughly 40.60 to 4.1k. And if the price of ETH actually breaks out above that area with candle closes on the 8-hour time frame above around 4.1k and holding above that area, in that situation, the next area that I'll be targeting, the next major point of resistance to watch out for, is sitting at around 42.50 to 42.80. And if we could break out above that area, that would be a crucial area to break out above, because in that situation would have a double bottom, also known as a W pattern, which would confirm a bullish price target for the price of ETH at much higher prices all the way up here somewhere. But once again, only if we first confirm a breakout above around 42.80. So those are the key levels to watch out for in the short term. And as for support, in case we saw another rejection here, of course, we could potentially find a bit of support at other levels here, but the next major point of support to watch out for to the downside is at around 37.20 to 37.50, give or take, based on these lows right here. And of course, we also have this area of support in between 3.9k to 4.1k. So really in that entire area, we could find a lot of support around here. But as I said earlier, and as I say in most videos, expect similar price action for Ethereum as to what Bitcoin is doing. So for example, if Bitcoin in the coming days continues a little bit more of a bullish relief, obviously it's not going to be a straight line towards the upside, but if we continue playing out this bullish divergence, of course, that will likely help a lot of altcoins like Ethereum with this short-term bullish divergence. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, right now the price of Solana is testing this important area on the price chart, currently acting as a bit of resistance in between around 190 to 200. And if we see a confirmed breakout with a candle close back above 200 and actually hold above that area, in that situation, of course, there'll be a short-term bullish signal pointing towards the next points of resistance as the next price targets for the price of Solana. The first level that I'll be watching is at around $209 to $210. And as for support to watch out for, if we see another rejection here, in that situation, we have a lot of support in between around 170 to 175. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, taking a look at the 8-hour time time frame. Once again, we have a lot of short-term resistance we should be expecting at around $209 to $210 around these highs right here. And if the price actually breaks out above those highs, above $210 with confirmation, so candle closes above that level and holding above that level, in that situation, we do have a potential double bottom or W pattern on our hands, possibly forming, but not yet confirmed. And so once again, we do have that possible W pattern, which ultimately will confirm if we break out above these highs, setting up a major bullish price target at much higher prices, which could potentially be a massive trading opportunity, which I'll talk more about in the coming days if we ultimately get closer towards a possible breakout above these highs. But for now, obviously, we still have this bullish divergence technically still active on the 8-hour Solana price chart, which I've been talking about obviously every day over the last half a week or so, just like the short-term bullish divergence for Ethereum and of course Bitcoin, all currently playing out these short-term bullish reliefs. So ultimately, continue to expect this same sort of price action to likely continue, at least in the short term, when we're talking about the next 1 or 2 days, is a very likely outcome. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, technically we still have an active bearish divergence on the much larger time frames, the weekly time frame. So obviously this is still causing a larger slowdown, a much larger pullback from the all-time highs, which I actually warned about at almost all-time highs around $3.40. I warned about this massive pullback coming over the next few months. You can even watch my videos back then, but once again, technically still active. And if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, what has just confirmed over the last 2 days is of course this shorter term bullish divergence, with lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows confirmed in the daily XRP RSI. And so like I said in my last video, this is very likely going to cause a bit more of a bullish relief in the price of XRP now, just in the short term. So for the next few days or so, expect a bit more of a short-term bullish move, likely now back up towards around $2.60 as the next major target, the next major point of resistance, really in between 260 to 270. And so do not be surprised if we see a continued short-term bullish move towards that area. And then obviously if we break out back above 260 to 270, that'll be an extremely bullish signal to watch out for. But while we're still below 260 to 270, technically the price structure is still currently bearish. We're still forming lower highs and lower lows, and we haven't yet seen any confirmed breakouts above crucial levels of resistance, at least not as of right now. And so this ultimately means do not be fooled by short-term bullish moves. We're still within this bearish trend, but if we start to see a confirmed breakout above $2.60 to 270, that would potentially be a trend reversal signal. So definitely a level to watch out for in the coming days. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a similar situation for Chainlink, technically still within this bearish trend on the daily time frame, bearish price structure, forming lower highs and lower lows. But we also now have an active bullish divergence already confirmed and already playing out, like I talked about in my last video. And so once again, as I said yesterday, before the latest pump, I said expect more bullish price action as a very likely scenario just in the short term for the next few days, and expect a very likely outcome is that the price is ultimately coming up towards around $19.50 to $20 as the next price target, the next major area of resistance. So obviously we're almost there, still have a little bit more room towards the upside to go, and then expect potentially a lot of struggle and a possible rejection from around $19.50 to $20. But if the price can ultimately break out above $20 with confirmation, so confirming a daily candle close, for example, above $20 per Chainlink, in that situation, and especially if we hold above that area, that would be an extremely bullish signal, confirming a bit of a W pattern or double bottom pattern, setting up a price target at potentially above $22, but really around $22, give or take, would be the next major price target, considering that is a significant level in the price chart, which will likely act as resistance. But once again, the immediate price target is in between $19.50 to $20 as the first major area of resistance to watch out for. So continue to expect a little bit more of a bullish relief here just in the short term once again, but technically, at least as of right now, not yet confirmed a trend reversal out of this larger bearish price structure. And remember, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, like what I'm currently doing right now to make a bunch of easy profits in the crypto market, then make sure to check out the links below the video to those exchanges if you're going to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can take trades like this, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.